Hello, how are you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, what's up? How you doing, bro? How you
Hey
doing?
Roy, how are you, man? I am putting the Allegri picture on to celebrate the Juventus return.
Return to
You,
glory.
yes, we will, or shall I say, you, Roy, as a Juventus fan,
Yes.
will side with Allegri and cheer him on as he lifts Juventus back to the top.
Yep, I believe it. I'm 100% there with him. He is the best of the best.
You're his biggest supporter.
There's no coach that is better than a lady in the history of the sport. He is the number one, unquestionable.
Yep. And I'm not even. There's no like. I can't even try debating that. Like
Yeah, of
it's not even a
course.
point debating that.
Of
I
course.
will say another coach who is. I'll say a close second would be Conte, and Conte is
Mm.
someone who is pretty interesting to us right now
Oh yeah, what's
because
that?
as you can see on the screen, Milan today drew Tottenham Hotspur for the round of 16.
Okay.
Um, big deal. Interesting draw, interesting energy.
Nice.
I'm excited to talk about this. It does feel really good to be back in the round of 16 because, like, just be experiencing the knockout stages and, just being matched up with another good big club. Um, I mean, I guess Tottenham, in terms of what they've won, isn't a big club, but they have a huge fan base,
Yep.
Premier League team. So obviously, it's going to be very difficult. I'm
Rick?
excited to get into it with you and like ask
Yep.
about how you feel about Tottenham because I'm sure we have some different opinions.
You want me to go first?
Yeah. Should we should we open it for anyone else to join or should we just keep it us two?
Let's just give our opinions for now, and then we can open it later.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like there was our two best options if we wanted to go through with a little bit more ease would have been either Tottenham or Porto. I thought all six teams were going to be difficult. Obviously, there's a level of difficulty, and you have, objectively speaking, Tottenham is amongst the easiest ones, but easy relative to what? It's still a top team coached by a top coach with top players. So it's still a big team, a competitive team that you have to take seriously. But in all honesty, the way I feel about this is that Milan almost has the obligation to really believe they can go through and beat Tottenham because it's not like facing Man City. It's not like facing PSG. It's not like facing Real Madrid. It's a team that maybe right now the, the levels might be more similar than you would think. So I think we really lucked out. I think we really lucked out, and I think this is a great opportunity for Milan to actually think about the next round. And I hope in the winter they do that.
Yeah, and I want to discuss all of the Italian teams, maybe later, even the Europa League, maybe even the Conference League, just to touch on the Italian teams because we care about the Serie A teams representing in Europe. But just before I give my opinion, to summarize, in case anyone like here isn't, didn't really follow the draw, on the right hand side of all the matchups, the team on the right is the group winners. They are the ones who are the first seeded team. So Milan obviously was a second seeded team because Chelsea topped the group. So we're on the left side, and if you look at all the teams on the right, there's 8 total teams that Milan could have, or that were in the first seed, and 6 of them were teams that Milan could have been drawn with because Chelsea and Napoli, for different reasons, could not be in matched up with us. So looking at that, considering just doing let's see, we have almost a 20% chance of just looking at the raw percentages out of the 6 teams we could have been drawn with. There's roughly almost a 20% chance, a little bit less than 20% that we could have had each team. Now that those numbers are skewed because there's like other mathematical things like with Inter and other clubs that kind of make it a bit different. But 6 teams we could have gotten at the end of the day, and basically Out of those teams, you're looking at Man City, Real Madrid, Porto, Benfica, Tottenham, and Bayern Munich. Um, I think most fans would clearly say, most Milan fans would say Man City, Real Madrid, and Bayern, very, very difficult teams to match up with. That leaves with Porto, Benfica, and Tottenham. And the way Benfica's been playing right now, it's very, very dangerous. And Porto, and as another Portuguese team, very dangerous. So Tottenham is interesting. It seems like with what we could have had, um, I would agree with you that I'm not very disappointed, and I think that we should have some confidence as well. In terms of Tottenham, for me, I always say this on the stream, like because I do think that Premier League teams are just dangerous. Tottenham though is kind of it's a bit different for many reasons. First, their coach, obviously Conte, who will be returning to San Siro. By the way, we're playing at home the first leg. And they're playing, and then we're going away. Conte is someone who we're familiar with, and we know how he coaches. And he's not really like a typical Premier League or, I guess, Champions League coach in the sense that he definitely likes to attack on the counter and defend a lot more. Um, so they do have quality, of course. They spent a lot of money. They have some good players for sure, but I think that they're different. And when I say English teams, like it's like Tottenham. I don't know because in the Champions League they did make the final a few years ago, but they are notorious for not having a good Champions League history, not really winning many trophies. Milan has a lot of heritage, so it feels like usually I just like I'm very pessimistic because that's just who I am. But I feel like this does like just that background and just knowing the situations and Conte not being good in Europe as well kind of makes me a bit optimistic and it just feels like Milan can win. Like if Milan won this, it wouldn't be like unexpected. And I'm actually surprised because I've been watching the media and a lot of people, even in the English media, of course they're going to say Tottenham are the favorites, but they've been saying that it's very evenly matched and it'll be difficult. So I think like I'm fine with this. It's just if we either get beat badly by Tottenham or I guess even if we lose to them and it's fair, like we're not missing a bunch of injuries or players that are injured. I mean, and or the referee messes everything up. Like if that doesn't happen and we lose or we get beat badly, like it's kind of disappointing. And I always say this. I'll end with this. And in the past, I've said that because Milan has yet to beat an English team, like they still haven't proven to me that they can compete with the biggest clubs because we haven't done that. If we can beat Tottenham, I think that's a step in the right direction. If we can go through, and I don't know if Tottenham, like right now, based on their form, which is not good at all, I don't know if they're, you know, anywhere near like the top three English clubs, but they are. They're definitely a strong team, and let's see what we can do. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, no, absolutely everything about that is true. Um, some, it is a good team, no matter what. They have players with mentality. That's the thing about the English teams. No matter what, even if they don't play good football, because of the nature of football in England, it just helps them have really good mentality because it's just go put all your eggs in the basket kind of thing. While in Italy, they take up too many calculations, too many calculations. But the advantage of this draw is that Tottenham leaves you the ball. They are not going to keep possession. They leave you the ball and they let you play, and then they try to catch you on the counterattack. I think that suits us more than the opposite. I think that is better. And one thing about Tottenham that is different from all the other clubs is that Tottenham is the team that has conceded the most goals out of all the other clubs that we could have faced in general, whether it's domestic league or European league. And they are a team that, is not doing so great in their league. While all the other teams are doing pretty well in their league. Well, I mean, relatively, they're still in the top four, but they're not at the level of Man City, etc., etc. So I think it's going to play out in our favor, and mentality is going to be a big part of it. This is a team that probably does not score many goals, Tottenham, but it is supposed to be a team that does not concede many goals. I think if we can score 3 or 4 goals in this whole double draw, Milan Tottenham Tottenham Milan. If we can score 4 goals in the whole thing, I think we're going to go through. I think it's going to be something like that. Maybe 3 goals at the San Siro and 1 goal at Tottenham can be enough to go through, or maybe 3 goals total.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that we need it's going to be a bit concerning because we have to go into it on the first leg looking to win the game and looking to score because I don't know, going away is always a little bit more difficult, and it's only 2 games, so we have to strike. We can't be like entering it slowly. We have to be ready to grab a result to score some goals early on. So that's something that's a bit different, and maybe we don't have as much experience at that. This is our first time in the round of 16, but we were in the round of 16 and also one step further in the Europa League. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, for sure. The first game is going to be very important. We need to definitely put bag goals in the first game because it is not an advantage to go and play in England the second game because England is always a tough place to play for Milan. So as we really have to get the job done at the San Siro if we want to go through. I think and with Tottenham obviously is a team that on the day they can definitely kick us out. If we don't approach this game correctly. But I'm pretty confident that Maldini, especially Maldini, him, number one, he's looking at this, and there's a saying in Italian, which is si sta leccando I baffi. I'm sure you know what that means, Antonio.
Yep.
So, so I'm sure Maldini is looking at this game thinking that Milan has a really good opportunity to go to the next round, and he can plan for that. He can be actually plan for that. I'm very positive. I'm very optimistic. I'm very positive, and then whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think the draw is like a gift and a curse right now because on the one hand we're excited, and it looks like we do have a chance because I'm going to be honest with you, if we had drawn City, Real Madrid, or Bayern, I would be like pretty depressed because I know that I'm realistic and we would probably like yeah, there's like a very small chance we'd be able to beat them over 2 games. Um, and I know you could disagree with me, but that's just what I'm thinking.
No. Listen, I wouldn't be depressed. Let's put it that way. If we were facing Bayern, Real Madrid, or what was that, Man City, for me that would be like, okay, this is a learning opportunity for Milan. Who knows? We might even win it, but it's a win-win situation because Milan needs to learn how to play against the top teams in order to become a top team. So that's the difference. With Tottenham, I feel like okay, we can actually go and compete and beat this team.
Yeah, and I think like the reason why I prefer like I know there's some people here on the channel who would I don't know like they would be like, "Oh, well, we're going to have to end up playing the big clubs eventually, so let's just get them over with early." I mean, I disagree with that because not for I mean, the first reason, let's just be clear about this, money is super important. So if we have a better chance of progressing to the next round by playing an easier team, and by the way, all these teams are hard. I'm just saying compared to like a City, Real, and
Yes.
Bayern, like
Yeah.
there's a difference there.
Correct. Yeah.
So that gives you more money. On top of that, it also allows you to build more experience because you play more games, you go
Right.
further, and also you build confidence. Because let's say
Yeah.
Milan does go through against Tottenham, like that gives us all more confidence that like
Oh
we
yeah.
can actually be a team, a good team, like a
Right.
bigger club. So
Yeah.
it's good. I think it's a very good situation. And I
Yeah.
think Tottenham is like out of the teams that you would like we're looking at and we're thinking of getting, they're like a good combination of like a English team who's popular, that so that if you could beat them, it would look good for you and you can like you feel good about yourself beating. And also a team that is beatable, because I think City, for as an English club, is just almost unbeatable. Liverpool in Europe as well, like they're very good, even though they're not doing well in the league. Like they're dangerous. So yeah, I mean we couldn't have drawn Liverpool. I'm just saying. So yeah, I think like it makes sense. Like I like Tottenham like overall. And I do want like to have hope that we can always progress. So I think with Tottenham, like you said, we can hope for that. Um, and if we do progress, anything can happen because that's football. So
Yeah, actually, if we do progress, there's something very interesting that this draw is so favorable to the Italian teams. It is incredible because you have Leipzig, Man City. Both these teams are good. Leipzig has some real qualities in that team, and obviously Man City is Man City. So no matter what, either Leipzig, Man City, most likely Leipzig, one really good team is going to be disqualified from the Champions League. Go to the next one, Liverpool, Real Madrid. Liverpool, Real Madrid, two of the best European teams in the history of the sport. One of these two is going to be eliminated. Then let's go to Dortmund, Chelsea. Both really good teams with history. One of these two teams is going to be eliminated right away. And again, go another one down, Paris, Bayern. One of these two teams is going to be. You're going to have potentially four really good teams eliminated right away. So the stats are on your side. The odds start to become on
yeah.
your side.
And Roy, if let's just, because I always like to jump the gun and just think about things like that are far in the future. Let's just let's just make like assumptions about which teams will win out of these matchups.
Sure.
And just to kind of see what would happen.
Hmm.
So and let's assume that Milan will go through, even though it could, Tottenham's very good and it's kind of like you don't know what's gonna happen. So City will most likely go through. I think you
Yes.
have to say Real Madrid, because they're just like, I mean, Liverpool are very good, but I think Real Madrid are just they're unbeaten in La Liga, and I think
I
they lost to Leipzig.
okay.
So
I honestly feel a 50-50 on this one. Um, sure, because you say Real Madrid, let's go with Real Madrid.
let's just say Real Madrid, because like they are
Sure.
also the champions, and so
Yeah.
City, Real Madrid, Napoli, because I think Napoli should go through.
Yeah.
Inter, even though Porto's tough, I think Inter are probably the favorites. Benfica, Chelsea, and I don't. The last one is kind of tough, but I would say probably
Very
Bayern.
tough. Very tough. Bayern is more of a team, right? Bayern is more of an organized team and plays really good, cohesive team football. But PSG has some extraordinary talent up there that can do anything, anytime.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's another close one. I don't know. I think I'm going to edge it to PSG, but
Mm.
whatever happens there, a big team is coming out.
Yeah, and I'm actually just googling the rules for the quarterfinals.
Okay.
Okay, so it looks like in the quarterfinals, which is after the round of 16, there is no like domestic country rule. Like they get rid of that.
Okay.
So we could end up, if we go through, we could end up playing Inter or Napoli in the quarterfinals, uh, if they go through. So, anyways, so out of those teams,
Yeah.
Milan, just say to repeat: City, Real Madrid, Napoli,
Yeah.
Inter, Benfica,
Let's.
Milan, Chelsea, Bayern.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those
Let's.
teams are extremely difficult.
Right.
But if we get Napoli, if we get Inter, if we get maybe, I don't know, like they're very good teams, but I think we saw, first of all, we beat Inter this season already. We saw how we played against Napoli, and I honestly I would fancy our chances against them again. I like the way we played against them. They're good, but so I think there are still possibilities for us to go through even to the next round, but it just becomes like, just even more difficult. So yeah.
Yeah. The next round, there's definitely possibilities also to go through. Um, absolutely. Absolutely. The next round is definitely. Yeah, potentially. If this keeps on going as smooth as as it can go, Potentially, Milan can find themselves in the semifinal this year already. Potentially, but let's not jump the gun, yeah, because
Yeah.
let's also be realistic that we could be eliminated against Tottenham. So I don't
Yeah.
want to act as if we already won everything, but I'm just saying, if you really, want to judge the various difficulties of your opponents and kind of combine that with the luck of a draw, you can see that there are more avenues than usual to go far, and that is something that should be considered. Yeah.
Yeah. Roy, do you have a favorite to win like the whole competition?
My brain today tells me PSG because that midfield is stacked with so much talent and the offense is just out of this world. So I'm going towards talent. I think I'm going to go with PSG, but to be honest with you, I think it's too early to say. I think this next round is going to give us a better idea of who's going to go all the way.
Yeah. For me, it's Man City, just because like they have the best team and they added Erling Haaland as well. So I mean, I guess they just play as a team and they create so many chances. But yeah, it's tough to call for sure.
Okay, first of all, I want to respond to Egan. First of all, I wasn't. So you were joyful when Real Madrid beat Liverpool with the ugly football. Well, first of all, I wasn't joyful. I wasn't joyful. I was impressed with Real Madrid's ability to play against a team that can hold the ball better than them. And then where you were angry when Chelsea beat Milan with it. I didn't say that Chelsea plays defensive or ugly football. I said Chelsea doesn't have much creativity. They're a very stagnant team. It's a very predictable team. It's a team that if you can defend against that team, they're not going to score on you. You can sneak in a few goals and you can win that game.
You were definitely like shit talking the way Chelsea was playing though.
Oh yeah. Because they're called like a top team, right? That's not
Yeah.
what I consider a top team. That's not what I consider a top team. No disrespect to them, but I don't consider that a top team.
Yeah, SSB with Leipzig and Kunku's great, and they are a very good team. But Man City is going to rip them to pieces. Like
Yeah, I
that's what I
wouldn't
think.
underestimate Leipzig either because one thing that Man City does have is maybe individually speaking, the defenders maybe can get beaten there. And there is a chance there that Leipzig, if like let's say Haaland hits the crossbar, it's not his day, and whatever, Leipzig can score a few goals. I think.
Roy, though, I will say this: I was looking into Man City's defense,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure they have like the best defense in the Champions League in terms of goals
Right.
conceded.
And that's because of how they play, right? They keep the ball and they press you high. But if you can get out of that situation, which hey, that's a defensive way of playing. When you go to the 1v1s deep in the field, I think you can find some avenues there with Man City. But it's not going to happen often, you know. So you have to take advantage of them when they do happen. But okay, listen, Man City obviously is the favorite. I'm not debating that.
Yeah, I don't want to have a debate. I'm not. That was just my opinion. But anyways, do you want to talk about before we maybe invite some other people on? We can talk about just the Italian clubs in general.
Yeah.
I think starting with the Champions League, um, this is like one of the best draws that Italian teams could get. Um, three Italian clubs who look like they have very good chances in their matchups.
Yes.
I think I think objectively speaking, based on just the quality of the teams, Milan got the hardest opponent, but then there's a lot of Milan fans who would much rather have Tottenham than like let's say Porto.
Yeah.
Because Porto is like we saw last year, these Portuguese teams are actually very underrated. They for some reason like I don't know how their mentality and or just like their experience in Europe recently has made them very, very dangerous. Like they don't, they're always looking like they can cause damage if you're like sloppy. They're going to punish you right away. So they're always extremely difficult. Tottenham may have the better players, but I don't know if they're as lethal as some of these Portuguese teams are, with the way they play, like in their mentality. So it's obviously it's kind of up for debate. And Frankfurt, though, I will say, does seem to be much easier of a team to play against because Frankfurt. So Napoli got them, and I think it's good for Napoli because I want them to go through. Um, but yeah, Frankfurt is a team that yes, they won the Europa League. They're solid. They lost Kostic though, and this season I want to see how they did in the league, but I don't. Something's telling me that they're not doing as well this year. Um, but I don't think. I mean, I think I've talked to some Bundesliga fans, and they've said that they haven't been anything amazing. Yeah, they're in fifth place. They haven't been like amazing this year. I mean, of course they're going to be solid, but I think that Napoli should have that win pretty easily. It could be another battering, to be honest. It could be another Napoli like scoring a bunch of goals because they play pretty open. So that would be interesting. Um, but yeah, I think out of Porto and Tottenham, it's kind of like pick your whatever because they're both very difficult. So that's my take on that. I think
Mm,
the draw though is, Napoli was pot one, and getting Frankfurt from your pot two is probably one of the easier teams you could have gotten. So they're very happy with that, Napoli fans. And then Milan, I think I rewatched the draw because it was so early, but when I rewatched it, I think Milan had like three different possibilities, and it was either Bayern, Porto, or Tottenham or something like, or maybe one other team that was difficult. And so, Porto or Tottenham, which one would you take? And then Inter got the other one. So I think,
yeah,
I feel like this is like very, very good, and
yeah,
we can all go through, and that'd be great because we need
yeah,
to, because the Serie A is so competitive. Like, imagine Napoli is right now 6 points ahead of us. Last year they were, like they're fighting for top four. This year they made a huge jump in quality. Inter and Juventus looking like they're going up and down. Inter sends Barcelona to the Europa League, and then is now like in seventh place in the Serie A.
right.
Like it's crazy. So there's so much competition, and the league is so good. And if we can reaffirm that with these European performances, it's just fantastic. And yeah, so that would be great if we can all go through, especially Milan beating an English club, kind of like, showing that the Serie A champions can do something would be great. Because like we should do that, as the leaders of Serie A, we should be confident.
Mm.
So
No, look, yeah, I think I agree that this year for the Italian teams, the draw, no, what's it, luck of the draw was on their side for sure. I think I prefer Tottenham than Porto. I'm one of those Milan fans that prefers Tottenham than Porto. The reason is because Porto is historically a big club, bigger than Tottenham historically, and also Porto, you have a Portuguese style of football. You have Portuguese players, and they're very technical, and they have this tradition of playing football, etc., etc. And also they're very tough mentality. Porto is a very tough team to beat. Tottenham, on the other hand, I feel does not do that. Tottenham, as I said, is a team that will give the ball away. They will give you the ball. They will make you play the game. They'll try to catch you on the counterattack, and I think that is our easiest solution to get to the next round. So I'm very happy with that. As far as Inter Porto, Inter has everything they need to beat Porto, and if Inter prepares this game correctly, they can beat Porto for sure. And Napoli Frankfurt, Napoli should destroy Frankfurt really. If Napoli really wants to be considered this great team that they are, etc. So yeah, and also in the Europa League, Juventus is playing Nantes, so that should be an easy game for them.
yeah,
Lazio,
actually, can I pull that up real quick? Is that okay?
right?
And in the meantime, this is like a good discussion question to bring up for, I guess, maybe when other people are here as well. But about this World Cup break in between this and the round of 16 and the leagues restarting. Do you think that the World Cup break? I know that Napoli doesn't have a lot of players in the World Cup, but do you think that this
I
sort
don't
of
have
pause of momentum
no,
will be at least something that slows them down?
no. I think that after the World Cup, players are going to get back into the right mentality, thinking about the club, and I think it's not going to be a slow momentum. I think that everything is going to go even harder. I think a lot of players are kind of like thinking about this World Cup, which is literally happening in a few weeks, and I think this has to. It has to be that the players, when they train, when they play, they have that in the back of their mind. Once the World Cup is over, the next European tournament is going to be in 2 years, and then the World Cup in 4 years. I think after the World Cup, everybody's going to go at 100%.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of ways that Napoli can be stopped. To be honest, they're 6 points ahead, and we do have a game directly against them in the second half of the season, giving us the opportunity to get 3 points on them if we win, which I think we can do. I think that right now Milan isn't at their best for a few reasons. One is that we're missing some key players. And I don't know how much Ibrahimovic will be able to help when he comes back, but he is someone who can give us a lot in terms of what he can do in the attack. Because when he plays, like, I mean, he's, I don't know, his quality, even with his age, is just, you can feel it and how it interacts with everyone else. Giroud has been great so far, though, so good to have him, of course.
Yeah, but
But
we'll have to
Magnan
see.
is a big one.
Sorry, just real fast about
Mhm.
Ibrahim, then keep on
Go
going,
ahead.
please. We'll have to see where he is at because he's going to be 42. So let's see how effective he's going to be. It's going to be an experiment, really, I think. But let's see.
Yeah.
Keep on going.
Yeah. Obviously, we're missing Magnan. We're missing a bunch of right backs. We're missing. Um, Let me think. I guess. Yeah. Well, just kind of players sporadically that have been injured, Salamakers, stuff like that. So I think that this is like if we can gain fitness, gain our health, so that we can have our key players back for these games in the end of the season, we can challenge Napoli because for starters, that's been one of our big issues. Um, and also, I guess I think with the World Cup break, not only can we recuperate our fitness, we can probably also um, I think one thing in terms of like that we can improve on is our defending because it does feel like we do lack concentration sometimes, or we're a bit sloppy. Like we've conceded more goals this year than we did. I think definitely the second half of the season last year. So we have to be. I mean, we don't have to be as perfect as we were last season because we were like unbelievable in terms of our defending, but we need to get towards that and go towards that direction because defense is what ends up winning you games. So that would be huge if we can get some more consistency. And I think if we take a break to kind of reset, I think it wouldn't be a bad thing for us.
No,
We also
it's
have
fine.
some competitive games. I think scheduled against Liverpool and
Yeah,
Arsenal in the
Liverpool,
break.
Arsenal.
So that's crazy. What if we? I mean, no, it's impossible. But if what if we scheduled a game against like Tottenham before we drew them? That'd be so weird if that happened.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so I think it's not going to be bad for us, to be honest.
No, 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 no. A big part of it is going to be how is Pioli going to manage the players going into these games because there has been a change, a shift. Having having drawn Tottenham, now kind of it kind of gives you the obligation of okay, now we got to take this Champions League seriously because we can actually go to the next round, right? So that might influence Pioli's decisions as far as it goes in the Serie A. We've seen that this year against Torino, it didn't. He kind of messed that one up. So it could happen. The Champions League could happen that can probably make us drop points in the Serie A. So that can be a possibility. As far as Napoli goes, Napoli has a lot of offensive depth and a lot of midfield depth. And I think right now, without knowing what is going to happen in the winter mercato, I don't see them slowing down, nor in the Champions League, nor in the Serie A. And I think that they are in a perfect spot right now where they can make changes in Serie A and Champions League and not lose anything.
So Roy, you think that you think do you think it's a lock for the Scudetto for Napoli?
What's up?
Do you think it's a lock for the
I don't
Scudetto?
think it's a lock for the Scudetto because I'm convinced that as far as mentality and spirit goes, Milan is the best team in Italy. But as far as organic and built and organization and right players, etc., Napoli is the best built team right now.
I will say this though. I think I don't want to like spend too much time talking about Napoli, but I think that their midfield and defensive depth isn't great. Like it's not like they do have a lot of attacking depth, but I think if like they were to lose Lobotka, like good luck replacing. I mean, same thing with us with Benacer. To be fair, like I mean, I think like they both
Well,
do similar
sorry.
roles, but
To be honest with you, if we look at Napoli's depth in midfield, it is better than ours, and that is unfortunately a fact. Um, they do have a replacement for these players, and these players are actually really good. They're really good. Like Dem is a really good regista. He's a really good regista. And then you have Elmas that can play in many positions. That is very good players. Very he's a baller. And then you also have Zelinski that can play there. You have Anguissa. You have Ndombele. So they have a lot of options there that can keep a really high level game. Of course, Lobak is their best option. Like I think if we lose Benacer, we see a big difference in our team. This is why I'm saying that we have the right spirit, but we don't. Our armor is not complete. As soon as our armor is going to be complete, I think we're going to be unbeatable.
yeah. And to be fair, they have spent more money than us. So I mean, I'm not. They haven't
Yes,
spent a
yeah, they
lot
have.
of money, but they have
Mhm.
spent more money than us. And I do want to have that discussion later about what we can expect maybe this winter. But anyways, to talk about the Europa League, and I don't want to focus on everything, but just the Italian clubs. Lazio, man, they're such a disappointment. They didn't qualify for the Europa League and they got sent to the Conference League. It's just like I mean they got battered by Midtjylland. Like
Sorry, and
what?
let me just
Yeah,
interrupt you for a second. And it's funny because Tare, the DS of Lazio, said that the Conference League is a tournament for losers.
yeah, I
It's
saw
just,
that.
it's just perfect. Anyway,
Yeah, it's I don't know. Roma and Lazio fans are just interesting. Like after the derby, Lazio won. Um, then Lazio gets sent to the Conference League, and after like bashing the Conference League, uh, and so Roma fans can make fun of them for that, but then Lazio fans will make fun of Roma for losing. So it's just like always a cycle with these teams. Like
yeah,
I don't understand. But yeah, they need to do better. Like what that is just frustrating. Because it does seem like we have some Italian clubs who, like with Napoli, Milan. I don't want to say jinx us or anything. Inter have been pretty solid in Europe. Like we that have a better European mentality this year. But then other clubs like Lazio has so much quality you should be going through. It's like
right.
how do you can't lose 5-1 to Michelin like stuff like that can't happen. So anyways, that's disappointing. It looks like it's Juventus who actually also went down from the Champions League and Roma. So Roma's playing Salzburg, who
Yeah.
I think that's going to be very tough for Roma, to be honest, because
I
Salzburg is a
think
good team.
yeah, I think Roma got the most difficult draw out of all the Italian teams relative to their strength.
Mm. Yeah, I think Roma could easily go to Salzburg and lose like 3 or 4-0. Like away at that. Like I'm gonna be honest, we saw it with Bodo Glimt, where they went there and got like battered. Salzburg is a much better team. Obviously, it's different context completely, but what I'm saying is that Roma has this tendency to kind of self-destruct randomly, and Salzburg is a team that they're just gonna keep punishing you and they're gonna keep pressing.
Yeah,
Then once they go play at the Olimpico, I think it's different because I mean, by the way, the San Siro was unbelievable when we played Salzburg. Like the energy
Yeah.
was like it just felt like the pressure on those young players was definitely super
Yeah,
super high.
Casano said that the stadium, as soon as the game started, he said there was no way. He felt like it was going to be impossible for Salzburg to win that game because of
Yeah,
the energy in the stadium. Yeah,
my dad was there too, and it just I have pictures and stuff from there, but it's like I could feel that while I was watching. Like I was like, "There's no way," especially with the way that the game was going. It was open, and with the opponent being like Salzburg and not like Chelsea, let's say,
right,
it kind of felt like it was gonna be like it was guaranteed to be a win for us, like because everything was aligning. So yeah, so that makes sense. So I don't know if Roma, I mean, they can definitely beat Salzburg, but it's going to be extremely hard for them to do that.
yeah,
On
very
the other
difficult.
hand, yeah, go ahead.
No, so yeah, it's going to be very difficult for Roma. I don't. It depends. If Dybala is back and Abraham gets his scoring boots on, maybe. But this Roma is not beating that Salzburg.
Hmm. Juventus has Nantes, and this is very very manageable for Juventus.
Yeah.
They should if they don't go through here, like I don't know. Honestly, at that point, maybe Allegri's gonna like purposely sabotage it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, Juventus has a fairly easy draw, so they have no excuses. Yeah.
Yeah. And before we go to the conference league really quickly, in case you guys didn't see, Barcelona got drawn with Man
Out of
United.
all the teams, man.
It was
So,
the first. It was the first pairing. It
and
was the
I
first.
think we can't accuse these guys of being rigged anymore because that's just if it was rigged, they'd probably leave that game for much
Did you
later in the
see
tournament.
the memes from today?
No.
Like, because I also noticed this. The way they were doing the draw was so weird because they had like this guy who would go and grab they had all these separate um like pots with the balls for each team. And so one guy would go and grab all of them and then drop them into this mixing one where then this other guy would go and choose. And they would like the guy who was supposed to be choosing the you know the balls out of the main pot, he was just staring at them the whole time and tracing them with his eyes. Like it looked like it wasn't random at all.
Oh wow.
And so there were some United fans that were so
Conspiracy
pissed
theories.
off. There were some really pissed off United fans
Yeah.
today.
Who do you think Barcelona and Man United? How do you see this game going?
Honestly, it's. I mean, I feel like I have to. I don't know because I was gonna say Barcelona, but United. Yeah, it's tough. I think probably Barcelona wins this but both teams are not impressive. Like I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I think
Like I think
Barcelona
Milan could
edges.
beat both of these teams. Like
I think Milan edges this. I mean, Barcelona edges it. Um, but Manchester United has a lot of spending power, so in the winter they could fix a lot of things.
well, Barcelona doesn't have a lot of.
Barcelona has to sell, has to get rid of players.
Yeah, they're saying that, but they're gonna find a way to stay afloat. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. They're a mess though. Like that locker room is never going to be a united locker room. It's just never going to happen.
Yeah.
Sporting CP Midland. I don't know. Maybe Sporting here. Yeah, Sporting.
Yeah, Sporting's a pretty strong team. Ajax Union Berlin as well. Like Union Berlin is a pretty good German team right now. So
Yeah. And Ajax is not having the best this season. Sevilla PSV. Mm,
I would bet I don't know because Sevilla's not that good
even.
right now, but also I like PSV honestly. Like I think
Yeah.
they're a solid squad.
Okay, so Juve Nantes, obviously Juve. That's easy. Shakhtar Donetsk, Rennes. Oof.
Mudrik. I think
Mudrik.
Shakhtar wins this.
Okay. Leverkusen, Monaco.
Leverkusen was a previously a UCL team. I don't
Yeah.
know how good Monaco is, but I don't know. I guess my gut would say Leverkusen right now.
Yeah, this one is literally the biggest conundrum of the whole draw. Salzburg Roma. Mm.
I think Roma fans were happy with this draw.
Yeah, but Roma fans are happy with any draw because they think they're the shit and they have no idea how shit they are. It's
Dude, over
crazy.
the summer, like they were going crazy. Like,
Hey, let's talk a little bit before going into the conference. Let's talk a little bit about Juventus beating Inter, and I want to say how what I feel about it, and then I want to ask you. So obviously, that game was a strange game. Inter definitely deserved to be ahead in the first half. They definitely Inter won the first half on points, but then Juventus won the second half on goals. Um, no, the only thing that I'm happy about the Juve match is that the youngsters, these youngsters that that I've been following for a long time, Miretti, Fagioli, and the other one is a Rovella, but he's not there. He's a Monza. He did really well actually against Verona. I think they won. Monza won. But those guys are really becoming some really good players, and I'm happy with that. As far as the result, I would have preferred Inter to win and keep Juventus further ahead back. But both of these teams are 10 points and 11 points away from the first place. So for them, it's a uphill battle. Yeah, but no, I'm just happy for the youngsters. What about you?
yeah, I was actually, yeah, I was just looking back at the first half highlights again. Um, Personally, I mean, I want to check the table right now, but I think that I like the Juventus win just because I don't think that Juventus, even though they won, is just going to start playing very, very good right now. I mean, yes, okay, Chiesa is back. Di Maria played as well. Um, so I think that yes, if they're healthier, they'll be better. But like, I don't know. They don't strike me as a team that's just going to start being like the old Juventus, where they're just going to come out of nowhere and win. So I think Inter right now is still the more dangerous team. Um, Juventus is in fifth place, to be fair, so they're they're right there. Um, yeah, I'm happy with the result. Honestly, I hope that Juventus can do well in the Europa League, and I think it's way too early right now to judge what's going to happen because the Serie A is absolutely insane. Like if you look at the table, all the teams are close. Napoli is a little bit ahead of everyone, of course. If Milan had only beat Torino, we would have been closer. But Milan is also close to Lazio and Atalanta, who's not in Europe, so that is helping them. Um, but all these teams are like extremely close to each other. So yeah, Serie A is extremely open right now, and I have no idea where any of these teams are going to end up. Like, there's no way to predict it, basically.
Yeah. You know what? Kangu is asking, combine Tottenham and Milan 11. I honestly don't want to be arrogant, but I was looking at
Oh my
uh,
God! Here,
I was looking at Tottenham's formation yesterday. I was looking at the roster. I was looking at the formation they played against Liverpool, which they lost, against Marseille, which they won. I literally think that I would pick all 11 Milan players, all of them, from the beginning to the end.
what,
And I'm not even joking. And I'm being objective too. I'm literally being objective. I would pick
Roy?
all Milan players.
Okay, we got to do that after this, actually. But first, let's just go to the Conference League
Okay.
because that's going to be an interesting. No, that's
Yeah,
crazy,
we can do that, but I'm being if I was a Tottenham fan, I would pick all 11 Milan players.
bro. Anyways, the two Italian clubs here are Lazio and Fiorentina. I will say that Braga is historically is a pretty annoying team. Like they're in the Europa League often. They're Portuguese and they're a pretty difficult team. So I feel like Fiorentina will probably lose, considering the fact that they haven't really been like that good in Europe. Like I think they finished second or something in their Conference League group. Like they're kind of like I don't know, like they're kind of underwhelming. They have a lot of good players. Like they should beat them. I hope they do, but I don't think that. I think Braga is going to be very tough for them. Lazio have to play Cluj and I think Lazio will probably go through here. So
I think, and I said this last year. Now I'm not 100% sure about what I'm about to say, right? But it's just a feeling, just a mathematical feeling that Conference League is going to be a competition dominated by Italian teams. Like Europa League has been dominated by Spanish teams. At this level, this deep into the table, Italy is really strong and stronger than other leagues. And here, the favorites are Lazio and Fiorentina. Like they should be winning this competition over
wait a
any other
second,
team.
Roy. Why are there no English clubs here?
I
What
guess we
the
did.
fuck?
I guess we didn't.
Wait, let me check the groups. Um, did they really not get in here? Like, did they not pass the groups? West Ham. What happened to West Ham? Oh, wait. Are these different? Okay, I think this may be different from the.
Villarreal,
Okay,
right?
okay. Wait a second. So this is okay. So this is like the knockout round. So these clubs here are in like they won their group, so they're still in the. I think they have like a bye week. Like they get to skip this round
Okay, so if
essentially.
you look at this, like the only two teams that are competitive against Fiorentina and Lazio are Villarreal and West Ham.
But I feel like on
So yeah,
paper those teams are better though. To be fair,
I think Villarreal is the favorite. I don't know about West Ham. Uh,
Scamacca.
yeah, but Lazio is. I think Lazio is much further ahead than West Ham. Fiorentina are probably similar. West Ham and Fiorentina are probably similar. I would say.
And actually, let me quickly. Okay, so that's a. I think that's enough for the conference league, to be honest. But let me quickly go back and show. Let's see the group winners for the Europa League. I think it's the same system actually.
Also, there are more teams in the Europa League that
That's
we
what
can
I'm.
look
That's what I'm feeling. Yeah, here we go. Arsenal, Fenerbahce,
at.
Real
Ah,
Betis,
right.
Union. That's like a Belgian team. Sociedad, Feyenoord, Freiburg,
Hmm.
Ferencvaros. So Arsenal's a very, very good team right now as well.
Yeah, domestically, Arsenal is doing really well. They're really good. They look like a really good team, Arsenal. Uh,
Yeah.
I think Arsenal, Barcelona, and Juve are probably the favorites. And then you put Manchester United in there as well, maybe.
Juventus, you think?
I mean, on paper. On paper. Let's
Hmm.
see.
Real Betis always slaps Roma every time they play. I don't know, like,
Yeah, Betis is also a good team, too. They could go far, yeah.
yeah, yeah, interesting. Yeah, so we almost missed that.
Yeah. All right,
Okay, you
let's
want
do
to talk
this.
about?
Talk about what?
I was going to talk about the transfer market, but first we can do that team thing if
Yeah,
you
let's do
want.
the combined 11.
All right, let me pull up like a few of like I guess a screen with some of their players. Let me see if UEFA has any graphics or something.
I mean, we can just pick up a sofa score. Like you can pick sofa score, and
We can't share two screens at once because I would
no,
share
no,
one
no,
with the
no. But we
players
know
and
who the Milan players are. We know who the Milan players are. But let's just go on sofa score. Let's look at the formation that they played against Marseille, and then let's see which player you would put in that position if it's a Milan player or a Tottenham player. I did that, and it was all Milan players. I think.
okay.
Go ahead.
So are we just going to discuss this or
No, no, no. Check it out. Just go on Tottenham. This is
this is like the UEFA just to see their squad?
but go to SofaScore. Go to score so we can look at their actual formation.
All right. Also, I like how Streamyard updated and now we can switch tabs easier. I don't know if you noticed that, but
You know, my computer right now is MIA.
Kangoo said foot bin. I mean, what is that? Like, so okay, I'm on their page on SofaScore. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. Pick either the Liverpool match or the Marseille game. Pick one of those two, and then let's just look at that
but let me just
formation.
make sure. Yeah, but this formation isn't like their best 11. No?
Yeah. So let's. I think Marseille probably had a better 11.
I can probably. Yeah.
And then if we can find some other players that are in the 11.
I think the Marseille 11 is pretty much. I can tell you.
Can you
Yeah,
share the screen? I can see.
yeah. But let me Okay, before we start. Oh wait, let me zoom in as well. Um, is this like? Can you see this? It's still.
No. Oh. Yes. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Okay. So Larissa, Dyer, Lenglet,
Perfect.
Ben Davis, Perisic, Bentancur, Hoiberg.
But let me fix this. Actually, okay. Wait. Let me tell you the changes.
Yeah.
Kulusevski would be the starting right winger.
Okay.
Instead of Lucas Moura, and I'm pretty sure Emerson may be the starting right back. Um,
Okay.
and also Romero could be one of the defenders instead of Davies
All right.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with the goalkeeper.
Yeah. Okay. Magnan is definitely the
Yeah.
better player.
Magnan wins there. Here. I guess we can look at it. If I like my three at the back, if I were to pick a three at the back, Kier, Tomori, Kalulu, to me, those three are better than these three.
I would probably say I think if I'm choosing like two center backs, I would take either Tomori and Romero or like yeah, I think I would choose those two center backs. Like I think Romero is a good center back. He's really good.
Yeah, no, he is good, and I would put either Kalulu or Kier in front of him. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, okay.
keep on going. Keep on going.
In terms of right back, I guess I would put Kalulu over their players because I don't think Emerson. I mean, Sessegnon, like these players, I think from what I've seen, like they're kind like they play wing back. So to be fair, like they're athletic and they're pretty strong, but I don't think they really are that good technically from what I've seen. So I would rather have either Lulu or any of the Milan right backs
Yeah,
on the right
Kalulu,
wing.
Calabria for me, they're better.
Left back. Okay, so do we compare Perisic and Teo
Well,
Hernandez,
I
or
mean, yeah, of course.
I mean, I guess if we're looking at a purely left back, I would say Hernandez, but Perisic with Inter last season was amazing.
Yeah, but so is Theo.
Yeah, I think Perisic against Calabria could be very dangerous. So we need Kalulu to be playing on that right side to be holding down the defense because he's going to be
Calabria has played against
lethal.
Perisic many times. Anyway, I would go with Theo Hernandez over Perisic in that position.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
but I do think Perisic can be a threat, a major threat against
No,
us.
no, no, no. Of course, yeah. Even Romero is a really good player. Hugo Lloris is a great goalkeeper. I don't disagree with that. Anyway,
Perisic plus Son on the same side, that's going to require
I
some serious
yeah,
defending.
I take Theo and Leao on that side any day.
Okay, let's go back. So central midfielders.
Yeah, I take Benacer and
Yeah, to
Tonali.
be honest, to be honest, yeah. But the thing
Yeah,
is, the Conte, like, you don't even these players, like, I think Hoybier is not bad. Bentancur, we saw him
no,
with Juventus, like
they're
he's
they're
better with
good players. They're good players. Yeah, they're not bad players.
like with the way Tottenham plays, like they just don't. They look like they just don't have any creativity. Like all they do with Conte is just play from defense to attack.
They
Like
have
they just
Busema. What's his name? Boy, they have another player, a midfielder,
Basuma.
Basuma.
Yeah,
But
he was good with Brighton, but
yeah, but I would take Tonali and Benacer in that midfield any day over this one.
yeah.
Any
Oh,
day.
by the way, Tanganga is gonna be playing against us.
Right, Tanganga. Yeah,
I don't think he's played at all. It's been forever. They also have the really young Pape Sar player who's really good, but he doesn't play that much.
yeah.
Um,
Okay, let's move to the offensive line.
but yeah, I think Hoybier is good though. To be fair, but I think they don't
Okay,
really have. Yeah, but I guess I would from the way Tonali's been playing though, and Benacer, I think I have to
but
take those two as
what
well.
is Holbeer? Holbeer is a box to box, right?
Sort of, yeah, yeah. He's kind of similar to Tonali's role, honestly.
Yeah, I'd take Tonali any day. Not even
I think I would have to
think
take
about it twice.
Tonali just in terms of like which player is just the more exciting player with the more quality.
Yeah, man. Are you
Hoybier
kidding me?
is good, but yeah.
There's no. It's not even a question here. And Benacer, not
But
even a question.
see, it even though I would like we're doing this, I think it's more of just the way they play, like with these English teams sometimes, like it's not just
Well,
the
but
individuals,
if
but
you
yeah.
do this game against Man City, it's not so Milan dominant though.
No, Man City would clean us,
Or
but
if you do it against other teams like PSG, it's not so Milan.
Liverpool.
Liverpool would be a little bit, but I'm talking about dominant. Like against Tottenham, I feel like in Milan, if you go player by player, like who are we scared of here again?
Okay, well first, okay, I'm going to disagree with you on a couple of things.
Yeah, go ahead.
But anyways, so we covered the defense, and basically right now the only Tottenham player would be like Romero potentially,
Sure. I
and
mean, and
Perisic,
Lenglet is also really good. I think he's a World Cup winner. Yeah.
he was kind of trash with Barcelona, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's
I
why I
don't know.
picked.
Wait, actually, did he? Maybe he was like a bench player for
No,
France when they
no,
won the World Cup. I
these
forget.
are good players. They're not incredible players. They're good players.
Yeah, he's okay. He's kind of like yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think Perisic is kind of a very unique role. But so if you had to compare him with Hernandez, I wouldn't change them. But he's also just like, I mean, the way he uses both feet and just crosses super dangerously, and he can
Yeah,
finish, makes him really good.
and that
But yeah,
and that is not even his role. He's playing out of role.
yeah,
Like Paris should be where Son is. So
yeah. So I guess, but anyways, let's not count that. But so just maybe Romero to be fair. Um,
yeah,
Okay, and now let's look at this front three. I think with Kulusevski at right wing, I think that they have a better right winger than us.
I thought about this, and honestly, like Messias and Kulusevski are literally the exact same player.
Oh my!
They literally do the exact same moves. And in Italy, Kulusevski had the same numbers as Messias. No, this one is the closest one that I could think of between is it Messias, Kulusevski, but then if I want to compare Kulusevski and Rebic because that's where Rebic played there, then I would give the edge to Rebic over Kulusevski.
But I think Roy, if you've seen Kulusevski recently, he looks like he's just a different player. Like he has so much
I
confidence.
yeah, and I still put Rebic over him. Yeah.
Like the Kulusevski I saw in Serie A, I would easily agree with you. But I think right now I would have to give the edge to
Okay,
Kulusevski.
no problem. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and okay, let's talk about these last two. Let's start with the striker because I think the last one, the left wing, is going to be interesting. But for the striker, like, okay, I don't like Harry Kane. Like, I'm not a big Harry Kane fan. I don't think he's that good, and I think he's overhyped as like because he's English. Like,
Yeah.
People talk to him like people were saying he was better than Benzema last year before Benzema like
Right.
just went on that crazy streak.
Of
So
course.
like that gets me pissed off. And I don't think he's that's the best technical ability, but in terms of finishing and he's a decent passer. Like I think he's a good player, and he's also younger than Giroud, and he has scored more goals, I think, over seasons than Giroud has in his career. So because of that, I think you'd have to say Kane here. That being said, I don't think that if you swapped Kane for Giroud in the Milan team, I don't think he'd be like that much better than the way Giroud has been for us because Giroud has been super clutch, and I don't think Kane is that clutch. Like I don't think Kane is
Yeah.
like a big game, player. So I think Giroud is just brings you that level. But I think if we're doing just a quality here, I would have to say probably Kane.
Yeah, for me it's Giroud if I have to pick between Kane and Giroud because Giroud is uh, a much more clutch and much more experienced, and right now he's perfect. He's on fire. Kane is good though; he's got qualities, but Kane and Giroud are not that different. It's the English tax. The English tax that if you're English, and you play in the Premier League, you are the best that the world has ever seen, the world will ever see. But Giroud and Kane are really not that different. When Giroud was Kane's age, uh, if they were both the same age, Giroud would be in front of Kane. Um, so
But the one thing with Giroud though is that he's never scored like a lot of goal. Like he scored like maybe like I think in his best seasons like almost 20, but I don't think he's. I'm gonna check on Wikipedia, but I think Kane has historically been like he's scored a lot more goals. Like from what
more
I
prolific. Yeah, but I would
yeah
still pick Giroud over Kane. I would still pick Giroud over Kane. It's like saying,
yeah.
Immobile scores 27 goals a season, whatever, 20, whatever. Would you pick Giroud or Immobile right now? I think I would pick Giroud over Immobile.
The way we play Giroud,
Yeah.
100%. Let me check his goals. So with he scored. When this is over multiple seasons, I want to check his breakdown of seasons actually. But let me go to yeah. But anyways, yeah, I think I would probably still have to say Kane. But like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
said,
that's fine. For me, it's Giroud. We can move on. It's all good. Let's go to the next one.
okay, left to wing. Now, this one is tricky, but I think now I'm not doing this based off of current form. Because Conte has been benching Son sometimes. To be fair, um, I think I'm gonna have to say Son
All right. Yeah,
over Leo.
for me, it's Lao. For me, it's 100% Lao. Um, so honestly, when I look at this team, this is me. This is my calculation succession. Like it's a Milan dominant team. That's why this draw for me is very favorable. But why would you say Son over Lao?
I think first of all, Son's stats last season, he scored from the left wing, second striker position. He scored 20 something goals, and he was the joint like in just the league. Um, he like the way he finishes with both feet. I think Leao, like what I've noticed with him when I compare him to players like Varazkelia, like he has a different like type of technical like ability. It's more of like he kind of does rely on his pace more and he hits the ball farther away from himself instead of keeping it
Yeah.
closer to him. I think Son is more of like a direct player and he's better at finishing. But obviously Leao has been very like dynamic and he's been like that one-on-one game changer because of his ability to just like take on defenders and beat them consistently. So I think that Leao is very effective, but his finishing is way worse than Son's. And I think Son is a little bit worse than Leao in terms of his like dynamic impact. But overall, if we're looking at like I'm just judging on like a technical level, statistical level. I think Son has just proven to be the better player recently. Like
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. So for me, it's literally all Milan players. The only player that I've the question could be Kulusevski with Messias and maybe Romero. But everyone else, even though I acknowledge that they're all good players, I acknowledge that this Tottenham team is a good team with players that are elite players. Some of them high level players. I mean, Perisic. We know how good Perisic is. We know how good Son is. We know how good Kane is, and every all the other players there, even the players that maybe are not regarded as highly. They're all good players with great experience in international football, European competitions, etc., etc., and Premier League. Um, so I'm not denying any of that. But objectively speaking, yeah, for me, it's 99% Milan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't. I think Milan is individually, which is rare. We don't usually say this. Individually, I think we are a bit better, but I think it's closer than you think. Um, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Would you like to discuss
Yes.
the transfer market?
Okay. Yeah.
I
What do
think
you
this is
have?
interesting. I mean, I have to check the news, but I do think that I want to ask you, what do you think Jerry Cardinale is going to do this winter now that we qualified for the round of 16?
I don't know, but it's a good question. This can only be speculations because, truthfully speaking, we don't have much information right now or solid information about what plans are and what they want to get. So, a lot of what I think both of us are going to say is going to be more our ideas, etc., etc. Honestly, I don't know because he still has to show us what he's all about. So, I'm not going to make any guesses. What we should do, I'm going to say that. What we should do is inject the team with more quality. And maybe I saw Hillary earlier say something about sending Adli on loan. I think doing a little bit of that could be clever. Send some of these players out on loan and bring in some really good quality players, maybe one by one. I don't know who. The one player that I would get right away is Jehon Bakayoko. I think if we get this player right away, we have the next Vice Verasquilla in 1 or 2 years. So we need to get that guy, and uh, and then we got to see what happens with Lao. But honestly, I'm looking forward to the winter market. So also because the Milan news is going to start again and following up on going to happen. I don't have an idea what Jerry Cardinale is going to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's some good points. Yeah, I think personally, I would love to reinforce the attack. Um, Maybe also get a right back because we're suffering a lot of injuries in that position, or like another right center back, um, or like a central midfielder that can bring a little bit more creativity in the midfield because it feels like we do have a lot of physicality, but without Benacer, I mean maybe Vranks can become that player, but we need some more depth in that area. Um, to help us like with multiple competitions to kind of play well without Benacer. But yeah, the right wing would be great too. And now that Salamakers is injured, like it seems like a perfect opportunity to invest and bring in a right winger. If we had to get one position, so that would be that would be what I would like personally.
And do you what do you think Cardinal is going to do?
Well, there's no excuses. I mean, now I know that it's not a summer transfer window, and we still have the same, you know, Italy tax financial baggage as before, but the ownership thing is now done. Like the situation now that this whole summer was all messed up after this Scudetto. Like this situation should have been resolved by now, and we need
like any other Champions League team, uh, not I mean, mainly like I know the English clubs are going to be bringing in a lot more players because of their money, but we as a team that hopes to do better in the round of 16, and I'm sure Pioli would agree, like with the injuries we've had, we should be bringing in at least like a few players, like two to three, but two would be more realistic. But if the two that do come in would probably be like, I would hope some good players, like not just some players that are kind of like either super young that are just complete prospects that be playing in the Primavera, but I'm talking about like a player that could join the squad. That would be ideal. I know it's kind of asking for a lot, but I think
Mm.
it would make an impact because, like you said, we need some more creativity and some quality overall in the squad.
Yeah, technique. We need technique. Eventually, we need to get a genius in there, someone to help Benacer. A football genius, a technical genius, but just a tactical also genius. Um, you know what? If I want to be positive, because of the nature of Cardinale's business, I have a feeling that he is going to put more effort into the mercatos than the previous management, Elliot. Also, because I've said this before, it is in his own interest to do that in order to become politically stronger in the world of sports. He's going to put his face in the pictures, with the players he gets. He's not going to be like Elliot. Elliot was in the background. They didn't give a shit, blah, blah, blah. Cardinale is going to care, right? The same way he put his face next to Pioli when Pioli just signed his extension. So I think there is going to be a good effort to build in the proper way. Yeah,
Mm,
I am optimistic. Let's put it that way.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I hope like we should like we our club over this summer was. I mean, compared to what other clubs were doing, it was kind of a big disappointment. All of like players like Renato Sanchez. I mean, we could have used these players. He would have been perfect because he's physical, but he's also very good on the ball. So he would have been a great player to have in many situations.
Yeah, he would have
Um,
been the
yeah,
perfect replacement for Benacer. Absolutely, just perfect. And I'm not saying replacement, but let's say if you don't have Benacer, at least you still have Renato Sanchez. But let's think about the possible players that could potentially leave their clubs, because essentially that's what it's all about. Who's going to leave their club? Ziyech keeps on being mentioned, but Ziyech to me is not an exciting player. Um, as far as midfielders, I don't know. Like who would you get today in order to replace Benacer, or a good substitute to Benacer that is available in the market today?
that's a good question. I don't know because I've been kind of disconnected. Um, it
Yeah,
has to
but
be like, I mean, I don't, the thing is, do we have enough money to go to like another club and try to get their best midfielder? Like, or would we just have to rely on a cheap young player that we hope will become that? Because that's the question. Like,
you can only rely on the winter mercato as Milan, as players that are in the fringes of their teams, like a Ziyech and whoever all the other Ziyeches are in the other teams. So that is one option, right? Whoever is like Zakaria, whatever his name, like a guy like that or whatever. Or you can get, yeah, youngsters, or maybe Italian. You can get some Italian kids, maybe.
mm,
But one thing is definitely different than the previous season, that there's no names. Nobody's talking about any names. There's nothing, literally zero coming out of the news. Anything like substantial. There's literally nothing. There's no talk about a specific player. Remember how the talks were very insistent about Sanchez and about Botman,
yeah.
etc. So the mercato is happening very soon. We're getting into it very
So
soon.
you've been following, and you haven't been seeing much.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Every day I follow. Yeah. I mean, there's just some random names that come out here and there, but
Yeah,
it's
I mean
nothing substantial.
this is a player who isn't really like. I don't think this is concrete, but I have been hearing a few whispers about Gnabry as like a potential possibility
Oh, really? Wow, that'd be a very, very solid.
on the right wing. That'd be fantastic.
Why would Gnabry uh move away from Bayern?
Because I don't think he's getting a lot of playing time with like the way Bayern is like set up. Like they have like a three kind of like they have all of these sort of. They don't really have like a single target striker. They have just a bunch of these free flowing strikers like Sane or sorry, yeah, Sane, Sadio Mane,
Hmm.
and like Musiala, like these sort of attacking second strikers.
Mm.
And he's not really getting much game time, I don't think, but he's fantastic. He's great at finishing.
Yeah, if that's like players like that, that is actually very possible. Players like that, players that are maybe not getting much game time, they want to play a little bit more, and they kind of feel like their cycle is over. That's a unique one because Nabry is a really good player that is not even old. I mean, he's still a really good age.
Yeah.
Zaniolo, I think I would definitely try.
But Zaniolo, okay, but when I watch Zaniolo play, like I'm sorry, has he done anything this season? Like actually,
I
like because
think
every time I watch him play, he fouls people, then he like goes to the ground, like stays on the ground, gets angry, and like nothing actually happens. Like
I think that Zaniolo this season is having a poor season in Serie A. He started to pick it up a little bit, but you want to look at that Roma offense and who is scoring in that Roma offense. Uh, Abraham, who is supposed to be what you call it, a prolific striker, has what, one or two goals in Serie A so far. So Zaniolo's, you know what his qualities are. You can see what his qualities are. He's physical. He's got the power. He's got similar qualities to Leao in a certain way. So offensively, Roma, I think as a unit, is not producing, and I think that is kind of shadowing Zaniolo. I mean, for some reason, that whole team is not scoring goals. I don't know what's going on with that.
yeah,
But he's an option. I think he's a good option. He's a good option.
I don't think that that's realistic. Although maybe Roma's going to become more inclined to get rid of him for
Yeah,
cheaper.
no, I think it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah, I don't really know who the players are going to be because nothing has come out concrete. One thing that I read that to me kind of made sense. The only thing that I read, honestly, that to me made sense is that they want to look at having uh, a more, let's say, no, not. Let's just say it like this, with no offense, no disrespect, but a better second goalkeeper, like a
Yeah,
more reliable second goalkeeper. Now that to me makes sense.
it does. And people are going to say that Tatarusanu has been doing a good job. And
Yeah.
it depends what you mean by that because I think he's doing what he can do. Like he's doing that fine, but he's not like we could get a much better second goalie, and that doesn't mean get a second goalkeeper that's going to compete with Manyan and cause like chemistry issues. No, that's not like it doesn't have to be these extremes all the time. When I say that, I'm just saying that we need to get a second goalkeeper who's a bit more competent in like his overall like aspects, maybe a bit more modern. Someone who can at least command the lines a little bit more. Like I think that Tatarusano just is too risky to have because, and I don't know. I don't want to blame our goals, our conceding, our high goals conceded number on just Tatarusano because we were conceding goals even with Manyan. But recently, I mean, there's been a lot of situations where it's just like a miscommunication, and the other team has almost scored or has scored on some of these chances.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just you can feel that.
There's definitely a dip in the quality of the command of the area. you know, from Magnan to Tatarusano, and it's a big dip. Now, in Champions League, Tatarusano has been perfect in these last games. Well, let's not forget that. So Tatarusano deserves praise for his performances and deserves respect. But it's just a fact that he does not command the area as strong as Manyan. So getting someone that is a little bit closer to Manyan and also a little bit better with the feet, because that's a big part of how AC Milan plays. So out of all the craziness I've read in this news cycles, this is the one that to me seemed like the most tangible one, realistic one that needs to actually be done.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense, but it's not the most exciting one, but it makes sense for sure.
Right. And then, of course, let's talk of a young striker. They got to get a young, prolific striker that.
But that's the thing. When we say that though, we already have Lazetic, so the young striker that we're getting has to be someone who is like young, but not like super young. Someone who's young but can score you goals right away. Because we can't be like if we always are waiting on players like CDK, like it's we're never gonna be able to compete this
Right.
year.
No, there's that risk for sure. For sure. I mean, honestly, if you look at players right now that are ready to make that step, you can think of Jonathan David, right? Like I think he's ready to make that step.
Yeah.
Um, but who else really? I mean, the other guy was Raspadori, but he's not available anymore.
And the thing
Um,
is also, Roy, like
Vince Camal, yeah.
if you wait, like with the striker position, there's not really many of those players because when a player does actually start scoring goals and proves himself, then the big clubs swoop in on them
Yeah,
right away because like and
exactly.
they
There's
have the
that,
money. Like Darwin Nunes, 80 million last year. Like all of a sudden, 80 million.
and I don't think he's worth 80 million, by the way.
No, but
Today,
he is good though. I think if he
he
had some
is
more
good.
consistency and some less pressure, he would be much better. Like, I think he'd be fantastic for Milan.
If
But
Darwin Nunes was in Italy, he'd be or came out of Italy, whatever, and he was Italian. Let's put it that way. He'd probably be worth something like 50, like Zaniolo, like Chiesa, like 60 million or something like that. The 80 million price tag was totally overinflated,
yeah,
and
I think if he
it
played for
goes to
Milan,
100, and it goes to 100 million.
mm, yeah.
But
Hey Roy, did you
yeah.
see the Primavera? I mean, they I don't for some reason I don't know how in the league they're not like doing that well, but I mean they did just beat Atalanta recently.
Oh,
But
hold on. And on, we're doing a open live tomorrow, after the game, because I think we can't stay long, right? Like
I
we
mean
can.
I can stay a bit longer if you wanted to do it, but not for too much longer. Like not like it's not super long.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta go around 4, so that's like in more or less half an hour. So whatever.
It's already for your time.
All right, no, in half an hour. In half an hour. Sorry.
Okay.
If you want to open the live, sure, but I can't stay long. Yeah.
I mean, no, if you're gonna leave, then I'm not gonna open it to be honest. So.
No, but tomorrow we're doing after the game. It's open live.
Yeah, but the Primavera, I was saying, they look good when they play. Like they have, they've been scoring some nice goals. Good team play.
Um, uh, yeah, man, I really like what they did in Europe. Europe was awesome. I
Yeah, I
can't
don't know
believe they
how
did
that's
that.
possible.
Yeah.
How are we doing so bad in the league? Like it doesn't make sense.
Well, they beat Atalanta. Atalanta is usually a really good team in the you know in the as the youngsters, really good team. So
Yeah,
and Lazetic, maybe Lazetic is maybe it's Lazetic, like maybe that young player that we're looking for, that striker, is Lazetic, and
I will say he I think he's. I don't know if he's primarily right or left-footed, but he scored a very nice left-footed goal at the near post, like against Atalanta, and it was very. It was honestly a really nice goal, and he scored a hat trick, obviously. So good game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I think the youngsters in the AC Milan youngsters are very interesting. I think there's some very interesting players there, and I'm very curious to see what the fruits of all of this is going to be because this is a club and a management that is very focused on the youngsters, and if they can develop them from the Primavera, bruh, like
Mm.
we're set. We're set. We don't need to spend 100 million on anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We beat Chelsea's Primavera, which is pretty impressive.
And Salzburg. Salzburg was a finalist of the Youth Champions League last year.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, and Atalanta too, who's known for being very good. Like, we beat three of the best European academies in like the past month. That's like unbelievable.
Yes, yes. So obviously, like it's starting to pay off. You know, the players that they bring in, the project, the
Yeah,
ideas.
and I did notice like some of the players they do cycle a lot of them. Like they don't always play the same players, but like I see this like the guy Stallmark playing the guy that we got. I see a lot of these like other names like like Omoregby or something. Like the players that I'm hearing like are the ones that we talked about in like the Milan news that we've signed. So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they
yeah.
are like starting to find themselves, which is
Right.
good.
And of course, Shaka Toure. But there's also another one called Alesi,
Yeah, he scores.
right winger, and really good technically. Really good technically, the way, and also very clever. Very clever. I'm very curious about that player. And then of course Shaka Toure, I think is going to be is probably the closest one to being ready, even though he's very
Mhm.
young. But I would say Shaka Toure is right now the jewel, right? The jewel.
Yeah, he's got the most quality. It looks like. Um,
Yeah, no, he does. He
yeah,
does.
the thing about Primavera is I don't know like what the age range is. Like I feel like I know it's like, technically supposed to be like under 19 or something like that,
Yeah, it's like
but
between 16 and I think it's 17 and 19.
yeah, because some of the kids there, like they look super young. Like it looks like some of those kids, like they're nowhere near being ready to play like professionally, like with the first team or even like on any Serie A team, just because they don't look physically developed at all. But then like there's also some players like Lazatic who are much bigger, so like it's kind of like a combination. But like players like Alessi, I think, like they're good, but I don't know if they'd be ready to play in the Serie A yet.
Oh no, no, no! They're not ready for that.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
yeah,
They're definitely not ready for that. Most players are not ready for that. Like maybe you can argue Kubis because physically he already looks like he's 27, so he has that on his side. And then maybe Traore because he already has a little bit of that experience,
yeah.
and he's also very gifted technically. Camarda, I don't know how is Camarda doing. I heard he had a hat trick as well.
I don't know. I haven't really been watching the younger divisions, but that wouldn't surprise me.
Where are you? What is that noise?
You don't want to know.
Is that the laundry machine?
No, it's actually it's
Yeah.
actually a helicopter. Like honestly, it's a helicopter.
Oh, it's Berlusconi. It's coming to visit you.
Yeah, I'm gonna. He's taking me to Italy right now.
He's
We're
taking you
going
to
to
a
his
bunga bunga
parties.
party.
But well, because I'm in the city, and right next to me is like this huge hospital,
Okay.
and so they have like this. I think it's every once in a while they like have to go and use this helicopter to you know bring stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was loud as hell.
Right. Yeah, no, but listen, going back to the whole Mercato issue, nothing concrete has come out, so I don't know. But still, I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops.
Yeah, I want to maybe be good to talk about to wrap it up and go back towards the Champions League,
Okay.
just to kind of end on that note.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I What do you think about the World Cup in relation to our season, and what would you like? I like. What do you think we should be doing as a club in this huge gap? Also, as fans, like, what are you looking forward to? Uh, you know, during the World Cup season, is because Italy isn't in the World Cup, obviously.
Mm.
So
Well, okay, so yeah, for me, obviously, Italy not being in the World Cup obviously just makes it automatically less interesting to me, the World Cup. But I guess it's a good opportunity to see which players are potential targets for Milan. Um, I, I don't know. I'm more curious to see those friendlies: Liverpool, Arsenal, and Marseille. I'm looking forward to that. As far as the World Cup, honestly, unfortunately, I think a lot of it has got to do just with resentment and also just bias. And Italy's not there. I'm just not very interested in it. Just the way it is.
yeah. So Liverpool, Arsenal, and Marseille are confirmed.
Okay.
No. I'm asking you. Like, are they confirmed?
Oh, I don't know. That's what someone suggested.
I can look this up. And this is during the World Cup. So basically, Liverpool's not going to have any of their best players.
Yeah, Liverpool's not going to have. And I mean, as far as Milan goes, who's
Maybe
going to the World Cup?
Salah, honestly, because I don't think Egypt's in the World Cup.
Mm. Well, we know that Giroud is going, Teodán is going, um,
Yeah,
Leao is going, Tomori is most likely going.
it depends. Actually, they may
Yeah.
not take him.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Manyan, I
Manyan,
don't
I don't,
think.
I don't know if he's gonna be part of the team, but like, because if he's just injured, there's no point in putting him in the team. But
Okay.
if he can maybe gain fitness, he can potentially be their like third goalkeeper, and then eventually like when he
Yeah.
once he becomes fitness. I don't. It depends on the situation. I'm not sure.
Right.
Um, and I'm sure he's gonna have to talk to them about that to figure out the best situation.
Yeah.
Let me think who else could. Uh,
Mm,
yeah, because like Algeria isn't in the World Cup. I don't
yeah.
think.
Obviously, Tonali's not going. Uh,
Yeah, we got like no one. Is
CDK.
Senegal? Wait, is Senegal?
Oh yeah, I think Senegal. Yeah, Senegal will go.
Maybe Balo Touré could go.
Oh, so Deschamps already called Manyan up.
Oh, really? Wait, let me see. Did
Okay,
they did they announce it?
it looks like it. Yeah.
I'm going on Instagram to check.
Maybe he's in the preliminary squad, and then. But anyway, so whatever happens to Manyan, he's injured. So Balotelli should be going. Yes.
I think CDK, like Belgium, like so Makers is injured, so he's not going, which kind of sucks because I feel like he could have played, and he must be
Yeah.
upset about that because he's was called up recently.
Right.
CDK would probably be called up, but he's had a really bad season, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't. It's kind of like questionable, but I hope he gets called. I don't know.
What did you think of what Ambrosini said about CDK? He said that CDK has lost his instinct, and Pioli said, CDK needs to kind of, just do what he's doing, and he's going to get there eventually. What do you think about that?
I think I would have to agree with Ambrosini because I was thinking about this. Um, I definitely have seen a noticeable lack, like drop off from CDK because in the beginning, when he was much more excited and confident, he looked much more. He made better decisions, and although he was never like super involved in the like all the time in the attack, he did have much better plays where he would just drive the ball forward and keep the ball better. Now it's like it seems like he wants to do too much and he's like rushing and he'll lose the ball because he's trying to do too much. And I think that he's become frustrated because he was trying to get his goal and he's been playing much worse recently than he was when we first got him. So that is something that I've noticed, and it's concerning. I hope he like breaks that somehow and gets like I don't know. I think Pioli needs to study how he plays and try to reinvent him in the system because I don't think as the sole like Pioli cam, he's it's been working out the best because I think he's not involved in the attack in that position. So either I don't know if the solution would be to play him a bit deeper and have him get the ball in the midfield and then distribute it um, as like a more central midfielder, or to just play him like as I don't know on the right wing. But I don't know if that's a good idea to be honest. So
Uh,
it's like I don't know what his position is. Like it's confusing. Yeah.
yeah, but it's also difficult to tell because off the ball, he's not very aggressive and he's not very. Also, like he seems light. He seems like he also gets pushed off the ball. Not he doesn't get pushed off the ball when he falls on the ground like Ibrahim does, but he gets put off balance quite a lot by when he gets challenged body to body. So there's a physical aspect of it too that seems like he needs to develop as well. And I think that also plays into the this part or this idea that it's hard to tell like what his best position is because on the ball he looks lost, off the ball he looks weak.
Yeah. So honestly, like I think Diaz is probably the best camp, or we just play a 4-3-3 with Krunic at this point. Like that's what, which is
Oh yeah.
frustrating because we're supposed to finally have the cam. Like it should be better. Like the thing is, it's like almost like it hurts to say, but it's almost like we're playing with 10 men when he plays sometimes because he doesn't really
Damn,
do anything.
that's mean, Antonio. That's
No, I'm being
mean.
honest. Like it's just like a fact, and you know, like I'm straight up with that. You know, like I'll be honest.
Hey Nathan, thank you for the super chat. CDK is better than Raspador. CDK is the new Kaká. Hans also for an apology. We fired Hans. We fired Hans. Don't worry.
Hans has got his head like just tucked away and
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
hiding from everyone.
But eventually, Hans is gonna see. See, I told you guys, it's coming. That's coming too.
Where I'm gonna be that guy, and I'm gonna say, "Are you sure about that?"
Yeah. No, no. Look, I feel that eventually he's gonna come clean.
Yeah, I hope so. Oh my gosh, man, we paid 35
Yeah, that's not
million.
much. That's not much.
Well, compared to what else the other fighters we've gotten, yeah.
You know, Pioli says one thing that reassures me, and I believe Pioli when he says this, that even though CDK is not having, is not reaching his full potential right now, Pioli says that CDK is very receptive. He's very intelligent. He is there. He's available to listen. He's not closed, right? He's not closing his ears. He's not. His chin is not down. He's listening and he's learning. So these are all things that to me sound pretty positive, which gave me the confidence that sooner or later he's going to come out of this shell. But it's a physiological issue as well. Because
Yeah,
notice how his body does not gets pushed off balance quite a lot. So he needs to get stronger. His core is weak. It's not weak, but it's not strong enough yet.
Yeah, sure.
All right, my man. So, anything else?
I mean, I think that's it for now. I mean, I want to have a more. I feel like if we were to get like Liard on or someone else, we
Oh
would
yeah,
have had a.
tomorrow, Lard is doing the live. It's gonna be big live, open live after the game. So it's gonna be craziness. It's gonna be war. It's going to be the usual chaos. World War III.
Yeah, I feel like with him, he's probably gonna have a different opinion about Tottenham, and it's just gonna be cool to see what everyone says.
As far as I know, as far as I know, um, he thinks Tottenham is the most difficult team to face. So he's the complete opposite of me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Maldini got best manager, right? Second award that he wins. By the way, second award that he wins already. Yeah, it's going to be pretty great tomorrow. Yeah, so tomorrow watch along, then open live, and we're going to be discussing everything about the draw, the game, and everything else. Whatever games. Laird is going to lose his voice.
Wait, what did you say? Other games?
Tomorrow, who else is playing?
Like in Italy? I'm not sure. Um, I can check.
All right,
So,
Laird can vlog the game. Yeah,
which game?
Tottenham.
Oh my gosh!
He
He didn't
should.
even vlog the Chelsea game. He's such a.
Bruh, these guys. I'm assuming Napoli is playing tomorrow too, right? They're playing Udinese. No. Yeah, I think they're playing Udinese.
Yes. It's Napoli. No. Napoli's playing Empoli,
Oh, okay.
so that's gonna be 3 points. Spezia's playing Udinese, and we're playing Cremonese.
Those are the three games tomorrow?
Yes. There's like
Yeah.
a bunch more on Wednesday.
And Vice Varaschi is still injured, by the way.
Yeah, but that's gonna be a walk in the park. Um, and then I think this week there's not really any huge games to be honest. Like they're all kind of like not nothing super exciting. And then next week, wait, is Empoli playing? Empoli's playing today and Friday. Then Napoli Udinese is Saturday, and Atalanta Inter is on Sunday. Juventus Lazio is on Sunday as well, and Milan Fiorentina. And then that's the last football this weekend up until the end of the World Cup. So,
What's the biggest game? The next biggest game?
uh, Milan Fiorentina, Juventus Lazio, Atalanta Inter,
Oh,
Napoli
Atalanta Inter.
Udinese this weekend, and then after that, a huge break.
Damn. Um, predictions?
For these games,
Yeah.
I think Udinese recently has dropped some points, and Napoli's gonna probably destroy them because I don't see Napoli losing right now. I think Inter has lost all 5 of the games they've played against the top 8 in Italy this season. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, really? Yeah. I saw that they have the worst head-to-head. Yeah.
Like they've somehow lost all of against, and Udinese is like is the 8th team. So they've lost to Udinese, by the way. And they're playing Atalanta, who's doing well. So I don't know. I mean,
Not a
Inter
good sign
should
for
beat
Inter.
them, but I don't know about that because in Italy they've been struggling with.
That's a really not a good sign for Inter.
Yeah. maybe Juventus can build on its momentum and beat Lazio, but I think Lazio are more of a dangerous team the way they've been playing. Fiorentina,
Yeah.
I'm happy it's at home because I think playing away against them is always difficult for Milan. Like, and also I kind of just want to put a close to this early part of the season. Like, we're not halfway done, are we? Are we halfway done at the end of
No,
this?
no.
There's still more.
I
So I
think
want to
this is
kind of
game. It finishes at game 15 as
yeah.
opposed
Let
to
me just
game
check.
18.
Yeah, okay. There's two more matches played, and we have 13. Yeah. So wait, is 18 the halfway point, or is it 19? It's 19, right?
Oh, I think it is 19 because it's 20
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah, but you play 19 games.
Right.
19 times 2 is 38, so 38 matches.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so we still have. I want to put a close to this part of this season because I think we haven't been at our best, if I'm being completely honest, and we've had to scrap a lot of these. Scrape our way to get a lot of these results, and haven't been in the best form. So I want us to kind of end on a high note against Fiorentina, and then go into the break and just resettle because even though we haven't been playing the best football, in my opinion, we've still put ourselves in a good position. Like we're still, there in the Scudetto race. We reached our Champions League objective, and we can hopefully push that even farther. Um, and so, like, I hope that with this break, we can recover our players and make
Yeah.
a good push the second half of the season. And hopefully, the transfer market actually helps as well, because that would be great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping that we get. I mean, winning this game in the Champions League, I think. I think in total we made something close to 50 something million from the Champions League, just prize money, just prize money.
Wait,
Um,
like already?
yes, yeah, I think so. I think if you like the team that has made the most, I think is Bayern because they've won all their games. So every time you win a game, it's 2.5 million. And I'm not counting the ticket sales. I'm just counting and merchandise, whatever. I'm just counting prize money. And I think if you go when you go through the Champions League, you group stages, the prize money is like 40 something million. So I think Milan in total made something like 50 something million. They won what, 3 games?
Wow. Yes.
Lost one,
Lost two.
lost two, lost two.
Yeah, we drew 3
And
1
Schreiber.
2.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, interesting. Well, hopefully we get more money because that's the best. I mean, it's like I don't know. If I'm being honest with you, I'm scared that we're gonna reach our objective, which we did, and then we're just gonna like give up and get beaten badly by Tottenham. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope that we actually try to build on our objectives this year.
No, look, honestly, I really, I really feel this that these guys, as I said earlier, si stanno leccando i baffi. You know what that
Yeah, yeah,
means, right?
yeah,
What is the translation of that in English? That saying,
licking their like mustache
their
essentially.
whiskers or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
right? It's
licking their
basic.
lips essentially is what they're saying.
Yeah, yeah, because and it means, yo, this is this is a really good opportunity. So I think they're going to probably put even more eggs into the Champions Leagues than they anticipated with the way these draws went.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Hopefully,
And
we have you know, the financial resources to do that. And Roy, by the way, kind of
yeah.
a random topic, but when I was rewatching the Juventus game, Kostic had a phenomenal game.
Uh, did you see the whole game?
Yeah,
You thought he had a phenomenal game. I thought okay. I thought he had phenomenal moments. I don't know
Yeah.
if he had a phenomenal game. I don't think.
I think he's a great player, and if he was on another team, he would be even better. To be honest, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like I feel like his creativity is just being stifled by Allegri.
yeah. He kind of suits Allegri's football, but I agree if he played with a little bit more freedom, he'd probably look better. Uh, yeah. What made you think about that?
No, I was just watching him play. Like he's very, very good at his deliveries and his finishing. Like
They
he
call
almost
him
scored a beautiful goal.
Il Crossista.
Yeah, he just crosses the whole time.
Yeah, no, he's all right. He's good.
When his
Yeah,
deliveries are great.
yeah. No, he gets a lot of assists. But you know who I think is Vlahovic to me is a disappointment.
Did he even play?
He's got an injury or something. But Vlahovic is not improving technically. He's not improving technically. And you just saw Chiesa. 20 minutes of Chiesa is enough to like just see how much technically Vlahovic is missing.
No.
But no, Juve honestly has a very good young crop of players, and they're going to be back sooner or later. Whatever, it's going to be too late for them. All right, man. Anything else?
No, man. I hope that I'll hear from you guys again soon if I'm not too busy. And yeah, like we need to. I wonder what we're gonna do on the channel during the World Cup because we got to do something. We can. I
Yeah,
mean,
mark it.
we can discuss the games and.
Isn't
You know what? Maybe Roy. You know what we may see. Maybe we can use the World Cup as a scouting platform to look at potential players that Milan could target.
yeah, it's going to be used for that for sure. But also, like that's when the market is going to start to. There's going to be a lot of room. All the we're going to start to have a better idea of who they want. Sooner or later, we're going to get the name. Yeah, Maldini's after this guy, and I think that's going to take a lot of our time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, listen. I gotta go. If you want to stay and you want to open it up, go ahead. But I do have to go
I
because
have to go as well.
I have to do some stuff. All right. So everybody in chat, thank you for being here with us, guys. We got Tottenham, great, but good team Tottenham. We will not underestimate them, but we will not fear them either. So everything went our way. Good luck tomorrow. Cremonese, let's take it. Actually, just before we close, the formation tomorrow. Tatrusano, Kalulu, Kiayer, Tomori, Baloture, because Hernandez is not playing. Midfield,
Well, why is he not playing? Oh, right, yellow
yellow
card.
card.
Yeah.
Midfield, Benacer Tonali. Attacking third, Messias Diaz Leao. And up top, Origi. No Giroud tomorrow.
Yeah, see, like we have to rely on a lot of the same players all the time, right? So that's we definitely need some reinforcements. I feel like to give them some rest.
Yeah. I think it's a strong formation, though.
Yeah, of course, but it's like we always have to. We're almost using our starting lineup, except for like the positions where it's impossible for us to play the starters. You know.
Yeah, but okay, I agree with that, and that is an issue. But also consider the fact that there's only 2 games left,
Yeah, of
and
course.
the next game is like 5 day or 4 or 5 days rest. So, uh, minus Balotelli, I think strong formation. What do you think?
Bellator is not that bad, but yeah, I think it's a fine formation. Let's hope Origi can score some goals because we have no other option this time. Like, like who? Like, wait, did you say CDK was not playing? Like, Or
Yeah, Diaz was in the probable formation.
yeah, unless he wants to try playing CDK at striker, which probably won't go well. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it will. Who knows? Who knows?
It's like
Hey,
he plays him at striker and he scores 3 goals.
Yeah. Imagine if something like that happens.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, but
interesting. Yeah.
let's see. Let's see. What did you think of Paolo Daniel Maldini scoring?
Dude, that was like I just felt like that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like it was just funny. Like when I saw that, it's like, are you serious? Like this guy had to do it against us just because it's Spezia too. Like they have to always freaking find a way to give us anxiety every time we play them. Like they always, I thought they were gonna mess us up again somehow, but thank goodness we scored.
Yes, right. Man.
But that means that when we go to play against Spezia in the second half of the season, something bad's going to happen because every year one of the games goes wrong. Like we always like lose one of the games to Spezia.
Yeah, even Pioli said he felt it. He said he knew it was going to happen. He knew Maldini was going to score.
Yeah, because the guy he started Maldini.
Yeah.
Like what the hell? And also Agudelo, that guy looks like he wants to kill us every time we play against him.
Who is
Like
that
he
guy?
looks like
Who is that? The goalkeeper?
is it the little? No, he's like the little like South American player, like who is like he just like he's kind of short, but he runs around a lot, and he's like an attacking player, but he just like presses like crazy, and every time it's against Milan, the guy like looks like he wants to like kill us. I don't know why he like hates us, and he's fighting with all of his heart.
Damn. All right.
Like, every time I just notice it every time we play against him.
That's funny. What's Bet 3G talking about?
We made it without Adli. I don't know.
We made it without Ali. Guess you were right, bro. Who's he talking to? I stand corrected, bro. My bad. Who are you talking to, Medji?
Hashtag free Adli.
Free Ali.
Dude, of course Pioli just freaking. Oh my god. And Lee was cooking in preseason.
Yeah. I mean, like.
Oh, he said we wouldn't make it to the next round of the Champions League.
Oh, without Ali. Right.
Yeah.
People were saying that because they're disappointed that he wasn't in the team. And they're saying that without Ali, it was a big mistake. I see.
All right, I gotta go, Roy.
All right, yeah, let's close. All right, guys, everybody, we will see you tomorrow for the watch along and then open live post match. Peace out, Forza Milan. Can you close, please?
Yes.
All right.
Ciao a tutti.
Ciao.
Non ti lasceremo.